COVID-19 cases in the country rose to 363 Monday after 8 new confirmations following tests conducted since Sunday. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe saying the new cases are spread out in Nairobi and the coastal town of Mombasa.
We now in this country have some 363 positive cases in Kenya, having today confirmed some 8 new cases. And these 8 new cases come equally from Nairobi and Mombasa, because we have got 4 from Mombasa, and you can see now Mombasa is becoming a concern, an area of concern. And we have got the rest of them from Nairobi, and all of them are Kenyans.
Speaking at Afya House on Monday, CS Kagwe said that 8 more patients had been discharged from hospital, raising the total number of people who have recovered from COVID-19 in the country to 114. The CS announcing that the government was going to allow restaurants to open to the public, however instituting strict rules on physical distancing to prevent the spread of the novel coronavirus.
Anybody walking into a restaurant must wash their hands first. They must sanitize themselves. They must have a mask. And more seriously, is that restaurants that are going to open with people who have been tested, who are going to be COVID-free. So if your persons have not been tested, you cannot open a restaurant.
According to the CS, restaurants must also limit the number of customers to 4 people for every 10 square meters, and the tables spaced at least 1.5 meters apart.
Restaurants will operate between 5 and 4 p.m., not later than that, because after that, then it becomes difficult to for the people to get home, just for curfew. But at least within that period, a lot of people were not able to go for lunch. Places near them can be able to do so. There are people who work in those restaurants. They can be able to do so. But of course, for them to do that, we also have asked that those restaurants that are going to open for this purpose must limit the number of persons who are going to be in the restaurant, so that they can be able to keep the social distances that we have recommended. They can be able to keep at least 4 people for 10 square meters. The tables within the dining areas must be spaced at least 1.5 meters apart from each other, and customer sitting must also maintain the social distancing that is required.
He was speaking when he inaugurated the National Advisory Committee to advise and oversee the supply and utilization of blood and blood products in the country.
The role of this task force would be to work through the Ministry of Health and with the Ministry of Health to come up with a new strategy, policy, guidelines, new ways of doing business and new ways of managing blood, and the blood being managed centrally from one source as opposed to different ways being done now. Privately is being done by private people, hospitals and other organizations.
We are so involved in the issue of the management of COVID-19, I think it is important for us to remember that the rest of the disease system in the country continues. There is a tendency to think that we are now, this ministry is a ministry of COVID-19. Even I hear children are calling me Waziri wa Corona.
While it's a relief for restaurant owners after Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said they can now officially open their businesses, this comes with a condition: each member of staff must test negative for COVID-19. At the same time, the CS said this was not a license for pub and club owners to start operating. They remain closed until when the government will weigh in and see whether to escalate or de-escalate measures put to prevent spread of COVID-19 in the country. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News, Nairobi.